Hello everyone, this is Lenda. I am the official blogger for the paid Arizona cast and crew gigs. I also write additional blogs just to kind of help you out a little bit. My topic recently that I've been seeing a lot of requests for are pay rates, wages, to find out how much certain positions get paid. People are also complaining that they're not getting paid enough. What I encourage is to use some of the resources that I've listed on this blog. I titled it Media Jobs Pay Rate Resources, just to do some comparison, some resources on where you can find and double check those rates. It's a valid concern in any industry, and especially the multimedia industry. Because when you're going out there looking for a job, in classified ads or postings, they don't necessarily always put in the rate. And so people, when they're reading the ad, they're going to wonder, well, is it even going to be worth asking to find out about that rate? But however, as a freelancer, which a lot of multimedia people tend to work through, as a self-employed contractor, it's up to you to research, to set your own rate, and even negotiate. People are at different career levels, so they could be re-entering a job, they could be starting late in life, they may not have the same amount of experience as other people that are more specialized in a technical field. So sometimes some of these jobs, there are going to be some jobs that are going to require technical specific skills, especially programs and software. So a job, unfortunately, just like any other, an employer is looking for specific skills. They're looking for somebody that might be tech savvy, more formal education, has flexible schedules, willing to travel, able to work long hours, and the list can go on, to determine their value on how much the employer is going to want to pay that person. It's the same thought as an employee, is that we want to make money, but we also want that to be a good investment in the long run. So a few things that I've listed here are going to be union and non-union rates. Now, keep in mind, large union-affiliated production companies do their best to pay non-union employees close to union rates in certain situations, like if they're in a non-union state. So they try their best to abide by that and carry on that toward non-union people that are working on their union shoot. Unions, there's going to be several unions that are involved in cast and crew labor negotiations. Some may not post the rates publicly, but I found a few, and I'm going to list them here for you, or visit my blog and the links are right there for you. Unions determine sometimes pay rate by the size of the market, the size of the city. It just varies with rates across the board, and unions have membership requirements either through qualifying to work certain type of hours, how many hours, certain types of projects, referrals, they have fees, they have dues, they have initial registration investments, they have meetings, grievances, procedures, and more. Recently, many have closed across the United States due to the lack of work in specific areas. So I just encourage you to go ahead and look up your own chapter in your city to find out more information. Other functions that union assists with are work contracts or deal memos that spell out specific schedules as far as work time frames, breaks, meal times, overnight overtime rates, even wardrobe and weather changes. The union can also limit its members' work by requiring that member only work on union jobs in the specific profession registered with the union. So they might cause some stress if they decide to go take a job with the same title and functionality on a non-union shoot and get paid some extra money because maybe they're in between jobs or something like that. So your union rep is not going to be happy with that. I'm going to list a few of what types of jobs a few of these unions represent. This is not an all-inclusive list. You'll just have to do a little bit more research on your specialty. And keep in mind as well, too, there's going to be people at different career levels where they haven't decided on a specific profession yet, and maybe they're just sampling a few different varieties of roles. So um, so the first listing is what we call IA or IATSE. It stands for the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. I've listed a link that shows wage rates ranging from around 2011. All of these are going to be somewhere between the time frames of 2011 to up to 2022. I try to make it as current as possible. The IATSE or IA represent technical crew such as audio, sound engineers, camera operators, production coordinators. I've seen some that have been covered on that. Gaffers, electricians. The next union represented is Teamsters. Teamsters, I have a link on my site that shows the wage rate PDF file of 2011. This union covers positions such as van drivers, camera crane operators, animal trainers, trailer RV drivers as well. The other one, which is the most popular for the media industry, is going to be the Actors and Performers Union, which is going to be SAG, or AFTRA, stands for the Screen Actors Guild, and the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists represents actors, dancers, singers, stunt performers. There's a link on my site that will link to the pay rate there. There are also other guilds and associations, organizations that may help you with additional information, but they do not represent members the same way as unions. There's going to be, for example, the Writers Guild of America, Producers Guild of America, PGA, DGA, Directors Guild of America, Artists' Rights Foundation, the Actors Equity. The list goes on. So just check out some of those places as well. Now, non-union, what I like to check periodically, even for non-multimedia industry jobs, is the U.S. Department of Labor, Bureau of Labor Statistics. And the United States tracks this data yearly. They try to put it up, and it can be, so you can use this as a guide to cross-reference skills that are similar to other skills in multimedia. For example, a production coordinator may have the same type of skills as an event coordinator. So you just kind of have to key in sometimes on some of the cross wording of the titles. Excuse me. The U.S. Department of Labor, the statistics are broken down to an average rate. So they sample some high amounts, they sample some low amounts, and then they put an average median across the board. And they may even subcategorize by state, sex, age, and so on. Other ways to compare rates or find out rates is yes, some job postings will list the actual rate. You can ask your fellow crew members, preferably privately, or based on the comparisons of these rates that are listed in this resource guide, you can set your own reasonable rate. I'm going to also include a word of caution. There are production companies, just like any other industry, who will attempt to pay low wages for positions, but ask them to perform other duties in which they should be getting paid extra for. For example, a production assistant is an entry-level assistant. It's a gopher, sometimes an office clerk. They shouldn't really be asked to perform technical positions, mainly because of the liability in operating technical equipment. Anything can go wrong, accidents can happen, buttons can get pushed, things can get pushed over. So it's just in a production company's best interest to not ask a production assistant to do those things unless, yes, they are a little bit more trained and they're taking the job just to take the job, which I have done. So don't attack me for wanting to pay my bills. So anyway, but the other positions such as like lighting, camera operating, transportation driving, those should be paid at a double or triple rate of what a production assistant is designed to do. Also, another word of caution is don't assume if a job posting does not list a rate or you found it on Craigslist. You may suspect that it's not a legitimate job, and actually many large production companies who are traveling to other states will list in Craigslist because of the fact sometimes those areas don't have a specialized central location to list some of the gigs. They may not list some of their information on there due to privacy. And so you might just have to dig just a little bit and cross-reference any other research that you can come up with to find out if it is going to be or sounds to be a legitimate job. A few keywords to give you kind of a red flag to let you know that they are most likely going to be a low or no budget or unpredictable pay in postings. A few of these are going to be when they say it's an internship, deferred pay, half day rate, volunteer, student films, stipends, crowdfunding, commission based, or contest submissions. All of these are going to be indications that it's just going to be unpredictable. Sometimes, yes, student films, they may pay. Sometimes with a stipend or a deferred payment, they're going to wait. It's similarly like a commission-based where they're going to pay out their crew if they actually make some money off the project. Contest submissions are similarly that way. People don't know whether or not they're going to be the actual winner and get a monetary prize where they can actually distribute the money. In situations like those, I highly recommend signing a contract, getting an agreement in writing with all parties involved that that's how it's going to be distributed. But unfortunately, also as well, is that the person of the production company who has main control of the viewing of the finances and the income is really going to be the only one that knows how much money the movie made or spent out. So it's just a red flag for you. Just a little FYI for that situation. I can't criticize anyone for deciding to take a job that may pay a low rate, either for an entry-level position, to feed their family, pay some bills, or be involved to just stay involved in the industry, polishing their skills or networking intentions. I just can't criticize anybody for doing that. And I will, yes, post some of those opportunities that are out there. It's just up to you whether or not you want to take those or not. That's your freedom of choice there. But keep in mind, union offices are closing across the United States. Production companies are filming in non-union right-to-work states, bringing paying jobs to local qualified candidates. So that's, it's a pretty good bonus as well, too. And there's always going to be an infinite debate on how much some people think others or themselves should be making. It's a personal value system. And they're going to, sometimes people that are in unions, they want to encourage people to stand up. Similarly to striking, it's this common bond of protesting for better pay until their demands are met, and no one should give up the fight. But even in those fights, there will be someone who's going to fall or take the job someone else walks away from. Human needs is always going to trump that. The worker and the employer just must make decisions based on a number of reasons facing them towards what's going to be attainable for a business relationship. So anyway, I hope that you will take this with a grain of salt, research it, come back to it, tell your friends, pass it along, like it, follow me before friending me, please, on Facebook until I get to know you a little bit better. But I do enjoy that I'm getting quite a few requests for friendships, and I definitely hope that we will eventually become friends. Visit me on www.tolendahand.com. That's TOLENDAHAND.com, and come back to my blog, subscribe, and hopefully we'll work together on some projects. Have a great day.